YouTube, what is up? Full screen, real quick. College football 27, small school rebuild. Okay. So, honestly, 2-star and below rebuild. What should you focus on and how should you budget your NIL money? Dynasty points, as they're calling it in college football 27. Let's talk about that right now. Here we go. 3 things. Number 1, prioritize coordinators. Okay. There is a lot of different things that you can spend your NIL money on in college football 27. But the number one thing that I'm going to focus on in year number 1 is saving as much as I can to go out and get 2 coordinators that match my style of how I want to run a dynasty. Now, what I mean by that, right? Well, I'm going to be using a new coach who's going to be a motivator archetype. So what I want to do at the end of the first season is get rid of my coordinators if they are not recruiting archetype. Okay. Both of my coordinators, because I'm a motivator, at least at the start of my dynasty, I want them both to be at minimum recruiter. And if I'm lucky and have some budget, which I probably won't, be elite recruiter, because that's going to help you substantially starting in year number 2 once you bring in those 2 coordinators. So for me, I'm not touching facilities. I'm not touching support staff. Those things are going to matter later once our program gets better and we can kind of fine tune some advantages against other programs then. But immediately in year number 2, if I have 2 recruiting coordinators, I know for a fact that our year 2 recruiting is going to take a massive jump. And then hopefully I also have my motivator upgraded a little bit and we're getting some of that off-season bonus. So first tip is prioritize coordinator. Second tip here, remember 3 tips. First tip, coordinators. Second tip here is budget and save when it comes to undergraduate recruiting. Okay. So as we've kind of read in this deep dive in previous videos, each recruit's going to have an NIL value that they're going to be asking for, kind of like as their minimum or expected NIL value. And at a smaller 2-star school, these 5 stars are going to be asking more money from you than they would at UCLA. And so these 4 and 5 stars are literally going to be impossible to get. And even if you get one of them, what's your class going to look like? It's not going to be very good. So what I'm going to do in undergraduate recruiting is I'm going to focus on finding 3-star gems that are 100 NIL or less, hopefully 50 NIL or less. I don't really know what that's going to look like yet. We're going to have to kind of test that out. But I want to find these gems, minimize my undergraduate spending as much as I can. That way, when we get to the off season and the transfer portal, we have some flexibility. Hear me out here. Here's why. Okay. So my coach build is first going to be a motivator. So hopefully by end of year 1, we have some off-season training boosts for some key positions on the team. And then I can really take that 3-star gem and turn him into the best player that he's going to be, because I'm not going to be able to snipe these 4 and 5-star players like UCLA is going to be, right? Not possible. So I'm going to save in my undergraduate NIL, or just, I guess, freshman high school recruiting is what it's called. I'm going to save in my high school recruiting budget, and I'm going to develop those guys. So that way in years 1 and probably 2 as well, I have a bigger budget for the transfer portal. And here's our third tip. Try to find 1 or 2 guys, maybe up to 4 guys in the portal that you can pay a higher fee NIL-wise, but then they are only going to be in your program for 1 year. That's probably the goal, for 1 year or maximum 2 years. Why? Because then that higher paid player on your team is going to come off the books faster. Okay. And so what I'm looking for a 2-star program is, I mean, my goodness, a high 70s, low 80s overall guy at a skill position or an important position. So edge rusher, corner, quarterback, receiver, tight end, running back. That's a junior or a senior that I'm willing to pay, over 100 NIL for, but I know is going to come make an impact immediately. And then also be off my books. I'm going to stop paying him either after the next season or 2 years from now, so that we can continue to kind of evaluate our NIL and how we want to spend it. What I want to avoid is being tied into a pretty big contract for a player or a support staff or a coordinator that I can't afford anymore. And then we bottleneck our spending by year 3 or 4, and any progress we made is going to stagnate and die completely. And so, probably in my first 3 or 4 seasons, I'm going to be depending on the portal to give us some important players at quarterback, mainly, hopefully, that are going to come in and make an immediate impact. And then in a year, they're gone and we can reevaluate. What this also opens you up to is say, okay, let's just say in year 1, we get a 3-star gem quarterback, edge rusher, running back, whatever, but they're like a 70 overall, 68 overall, whatever. Yes, at a 2-star team, they may be ready to play immediately. And you may want to go ahead and do that if your team is so bad. But what happens when their deal breaker is proximity to home? So they're going to stay no matter what. They're a 3-star gem. You're able to redshirt them. And then in the portal, let's say it's quarterback. In the portal, you go and get a 75 overall plus quarterback in the portal. That's going to be here for 1 or 2 years. You pay that QB the bigger NIL budget. He comes in, helps you immediately. Then he's off the books. And then you have your 3-star gem that slides right into that starting role. So be smart about it. Okay. Go get 2 good coordinators, save in high school recruiting, find those gems that you can grow and develop, and then go find 1 or 2 studs in the portal that are going to be fun to play with and that are going to be off your book soon. Go from there. That's my foundation. That's my groundwork for College Football 27 at a 2-star or below program. That's all I got for you. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Subscribe and peace.